All right. Hi, I am Rose Birdie Hernandez, and I am Candelaria and Jesus Gonzalez's granddaughter. My mom, Sarah Hernandez, was their daughter. She's the eighth child born out of 11. My grandparents were migrated from Leon, Guanajuato, Mexico, and Gijo said what year they came. My grandpa came first, then sent for my grandma, and she had three children: Chuy Junior, Jesus, um, Maria, and Carmen. And Freddie was born here. So this picture was taken when they were already here in the U.S. Um, my mom, like I said, her name was Sarah Hernandez. She married Robert Hernandez. He was also from here, his family. They were married 55 years, my mom and dad, and they always lived here in La Colonia. They were very proud of their area, their town, their city of La Colonia. My dad did quite a few uh, projects here for La Colonia. Chuckles, yep, also known as Chuckles, and
Your dad is
Chuckles,
Chuckles.
right?
Ah,
You know my dad?
I did.
You heard of him?
I have heard of him.
Yep,
Yes,
that's my dad.
he's legendary.
When I was 16, we took my grandma back to Mexico, where she was from. She hadn't been there in 50 years, I'd say. I don't remember quite how many years, but we did take her back to Guadalajara, Leon, Guanajuato, and she did meet two of her siblings. There was two sibling sisters living at that time when we went, so it was quite a reunion. I was 16. My mom, my aunt, my grandma, and another cousin. We all went and took my grandma. It was great, a great trip. And this is my grandma. This was for one Christmas at my house, at my parents' house here in Solana Beach.
So you grew up here
Yep.
entirely in Solana
Yep,
Beach?
born and raised here in Solana Beach.
And how long has that been now that you've lived here?
61 years. Actually, the house that I live in, that I was only like 3 months old when my parents moved in.
Wow.
So yeah, on Genevieve Street. Uh huh.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What are your early memories of growing up in Eden Gardens?
Oh, just all family getting together at my grandma's house, and
And where was the grandmother's?
on Ida Street.
Okay.
Yeah, every weekend we'd all be there playing outside, and my grandma making food, making tortillas, and she made tortillas, homemade tortillas, till the day she passed. She was always cooking in the kitchen for everyone.
And what kind of work did, besides the cooking in the kitchen, for which she probably wasn't paid,
Right.
did she
Actually, she was just a homemaker,
Okay.
and she took care of her 11 kids. My grandpa died when my mom was like 8 years old, so she had to raise the kids. My grandma did, and the boys. There was my uncle Shorty Manuel, and he was the only one that graduated. No, your dad too, Chavi, Salvador, but they went to school. I thought your dad graduated. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, my mom had to stop going to school too because she had to work and help support the family.
What kind of work did she have to start doing?
She worked for Rancho Santa Fe Inn.
Ah.
Yeah, so she worked there. A lot of her sisters worked there as well, and nieces as they all worked there. And yeah, they did. Like my grandpa, when he first came, going back, sorry about that, when he first came from Mexico, they did do a lot of picking oranges and rancho. I remember my dad saying right up the street, across the street, there was lima beans that they would also pick, and then they would go to Santa Paula. And actually, that's where my mom was born. There was probably like three or four siblings that were born in Santa Paula, but they always had their home here. My grandpa would go um, pick in Santa Paula and then come back. That's what they would do.
Is that in the Central Valley?
That's up north somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
And they, what were they picking fruit?
Picking fruit, vegetables. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Whatever was in season.
Yep.
What schools did you go to here?
They went to the school right up here, La Escuelita. It was a segregated school
Yeah.
that they went to, and that was tough for them. My mom. There's been quite a few pictures posted too of the group, the family. Um, when they were attending school there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did she? What did she tell you about the school? Do you remember?
Um. Well, my dad used to say that they would play baseball, and he was very good artist. There was one teacher, Mrs. Smith. I can't remember her name, but she was really involved in trying to teach the kids, and um, they did their best, what they could do.
So did they? Were they able to keep their Spanish language? Because
No, no, they were not. They were told not to speak Spanish. They had to learn English, and that's
in school, but not at home.
right.
Yeah.
In school. Yeah, so that must have been confusing for them.
Sure.
Yeah, but they did well, you know, as best as they can. Actually, and there was a school in Solana Beach where my dad lived at one next to the railroad track, Central. I think it was still Central, but they weren't allowed there. They had to come over here because they were Mexican. So they had to be taught here, La Colonia.